At the end of part 2, it is clear that Mermaid used the gunshot to blow up Victor Crowley's face, taking him dead. She leaves that place. But we notice Crowley is still alive. He again takes a step. Mermaid also finds the 2 dead bodies of co-hunters, whom Crowley had mutilated with chainsaw mercilessly. Suddenly, Mermaid hears the voice of Victor Crowley, and she immediately pulls the starter rope of chainsaw. Chainsaw is started, but she is caught by Victor Crowley, and he dangles her in the air. Mermaid thrusts her hand into his face because Victor Crowley's face was badly wounded. As a result, Victor Crowley leaves her feeling pain. He falls on the chainsaw which was started by Mermaid. Chainsaw cuts him, detaching his body into 2 parts. Then Mermaid leaves, taking his some parts of heads. She had acted as such so that Victor Crowley may not retake birth again. And walking, she moves into the city from Swamp. Coming into the city, she proceeds to the police station at first. Finding her full of blood and holding a skull in one hand and shotgun in other hand, all are afraid there. She is arrested by the police, but she is not in such condition to reveal anything. She just says that everyone is dead in Swamp. Hearing it, a police officer dispatches his police force in the town. After cleaning Mermaid, they come to know that all blood on her was not her own. Her body had minor scratches. There was not a critical wound. Sheriff inquires her. She exposes everything which had been happening with her for the last 2 days. Sheriff was unable to pick the point that she has survived receiving minor scratches and come here while all others are dead. And he was calling pointless of his Victor Crowley story because he was taking her as a killer. At the same time, a police officer in the force contacts Sheriff through the radio. He tells that Swamp is in very bad condition and people are ended mercilessly, and dead bodies' condition is worst seen. Police officers are vomiting after seeing them. Sheriff immediately leaves to Swamp after assigning the duty to Deputy Winslow as an in charge. Then Sheriff's ex-wife Amanda shows up. She was a journalist who was interviewed by Victor Crowley. She has been researching him for a long time. Convincing Deputy Winslow, she investigates and inquires of Mermaid. But Mermaid was not willing to reveal anything. Then Amanda tells her that she will be executed in the matter of numerous murders. She lures her that she only can save her. At last, Mermaid tells everything which happened with her. Mermaid was sure that she has finished Victor Crowley, but Amanda informs her Victor Crowley's ghosts are called repeater in the world of supernaturalism, and they cannot be finished. He has to reawaken at any cost. But Mermaid was sure that she has killed Victor Crowley. On the other side, emergency medical services had reached in Swamp, and they were collecting the dead bodies of everyone. They also get the dead body of Victor Crowley there. Sealing it, they also take it in the ambulance. The night falls while collecting the dead bodies, but few dead bodies were still left. Randy was working in the ambulance comfortably. He hears a sound. As he turns his face, Victor Crowley blows up his face with an electric shock machine touching on his face. Hearing a noise, police officer goes there for checking. Coming out from the ambulance boat, he is proceeding towards him. He empties his loaded gun, firing on Crowley. As a result, he is fallen down, and Deputy Hamilton takes him dead. And then Crowley is reawakened, and then Deputy Hamilton contacts Winslow, but he is killed by Crowley before telling anything. On the other side, Winslow only hears his shrieking, and hearing the loud noise, Amanda understands that Crowley has come back. She says that she knows how can Victor Crowley be finished. She asks Winslow to release Mermaid, but he does not agree with her. On the opposite side, Crowley was killing the doctors and police officers one by one. Winslow was also hearing the shrieking of dying people. Trusting on Amanda, he releases Mermaid. At that time, Sheriff with his team also arrived there, and then SWAT team also reaches there, and the hold of operation is taken by its in charge Tyler. Contrarily, Amanda with Mermaid and Winslow was going to meet a person who was only a relative of Thomas Crowley, and he had his ash. Amanda plans as Crowley is searching his father, and if Mermaid gives his father's ash to him, then he may return back. But Mermaid does consent for this plan. Amanda asks Thomas ash from that man, but he was not ready to hand over ash at any cost. Finding no way, Amanda Amanda points Winslow's gun on that person. Taking Ash from him, she flees from there. On the other side, the whole team was investigating that place in the forest. They find dead bodies everywhere. Pursuing them, their own condition is turned into the worst because of their worst condition. Then someone appears from bushes. But he was not Victor Crowley but Andrew, who survived luckily. He says Victor Crowley has finished everyone and they must leave, saving their lives. Hearing him, Sheriff is nearly to call military. But Tyler breaks off his radio saying he himself can handle this situation. Suddenly, there is stirring in the bushes. Then they begin indiscriminate firing. After firing, Tyler moves ahead for discovering. Then he finds a wild baby animal. Then Crowley's voice is heard at the front side and they move backward. They reach at his house but every step was being taken by them carefully. Coming from a side, Crowley kills a police officer while another officer is pulled towards him trapping in a hook. In return, all fire their guns on him. In spite of it, he was pulling him. Moving ahead, Sheriff cuts off his rope and tries to rescue him, but putting his hand into his mouth, Crowley drags him inside. And moving backward, they again start firing. Tyler orders to surround him. Crowley starts killing one by one as they part from one another. Many officers begin to beat after catching him, but he pushes back everyone with a sudden jerk. No one was able to throw his hat in the ring, and he was ending everyone one by one. Firing was also not affecting his body while the gun was emptied, so the fighting is started between them. Without giving any chance, Crowley begins to pull his backbone. Then he takes out his spine from his skull. Noticing it, Cody fires a rocket launcher at him. Consequently, Crowley's whole house is perished. Then Cody celebrates thinking he has killed Victor Crowley, but Victor Crowley comes at the front. Then breaking his arms and feet, Crowley also kills him. Seeing an opportunity, Meyerbeat, Andrew, and Sheriff board the ambulance boat heading there. Sheriff contacts military through boat radio. He says many gunmen had attacked us. He has to tell a lie because hearing the name of Victor Crowley, no security was sent here. They were thinking secure in the ambulance boat. Then Crowley begins to cut the boat using belt sander. Crowley makes a big hole in that ambulance. There is a hammer placed before Andrew. While picking it, Crowley catches him. Hitting on the hand of Victor Crowley, Machla saves the life of Andrew. And Amanda with Winslow and Meyerbeat reach at Crowley's house calling Crowley loudly. Hearing her voice, Crowley leaves from there. Meanwhile, Sheriff also recognizes the voice of Amanda. He comes outside to call her, but catching him, Crowley distorts his face. Sheriff's gun is fallen before Machla, and she thinks that it is easy to pick up. Victor Crowley catches his hand as she begins to take it. Then Andrew just sees her dying silently because of being helpless. Amanda is calling Crowley loudly and he reaches there. Amanda hands over the ash of Thomas to Meyerbeat, and Crowley is a little relaxed seeing the ash. Keeping the ash before him, Meyerbeat apologizes on what her father had committed with him. Crowley moves ahead to lift the ash, but Winslow begins to shoot him thinking as he is going to harm Meyerbeat. He empties his two-gun bullets on him. Then he thinks he is dead. While standing, Crowley mutilates him. Then Amanda quickly picks up ash and throws it beside Meyerbeat. She asks her to hand this ash again to Crowley. Then Crowley also catches her, and he also kills the poor researcher who was researching him for a long time. He decapitates Amanda. After killing her, he hangs Meyerbeat with a tree. 2 days later, he is nearly to finish her. Then Meyerbeat breaks that pitcher throwing on him, and the ash of Crowley's father throws on him. As that ash touches his body, Crowley begins to melt. He is much melted. Then Meyerbeat sets her free, cutting the tree branch. Picking the shotgun, she waits for his reawakening. But destiny turns its face now, and he does not awake. And she fires on the remained body parts of Crowley. And Crowley is finished here because his bones had been burned. On the other hand, Meyerbeat's condition was deteriorating. Then military officers also approached there. Now we observe dying Meyerbeat whose heartbeats were not working accurately. And this movie completes here.